Hello everybody. Today we shall discuss about digital multimeter. You see that this is a digital multimeter and the model is KROS SDT830D digital multimeter. And the question arises, what is a digital multimeter? A digital multimeter is an instrument or device which can measure AC voltage, DC voltage, AC current, resistance, and also the beta value of NPN and PNP transistor. This is what we call it as digital multimeter. Now you see the symbol. You can see here this symbol. This symbol, voltage, this is for DC voltage, right? And you can see that this symbol, this is for measuring AC voltage. I will show you today how to measure the AC voltage and DC voltage. And in the next video, I will show you how to measure the current. The unit of current is ampere. You see, this is in ampere, and this is DC ampere, right? You see, this is 10 ampere, and you can see here that is HFE value. You can also find the HFE value also, and this is a square wave, and this is what we call it as whether it can show the direction of a diode, and this is the symbol of beep sound. Now I will check whether this digital multimeter is in correct position, in proper position or not, to measure the voltage, to measure the current, and to measure the resistance. Let us see. And what are the various parts of digital multimeter? You see here, this is the front part, this is the back, and in the inside there is a battery cell and there is a circuit, right? And battery you can see here that is it is of 9 volt, right? Now I will show you how to measure the different voltages and current, and how to find HFE value, how to find square wave, how to find the diode, and also the beta value of NPN and PNP transistor. Later on I will show you the different aspect, but today I am only going to measure the voltage. You see, this is the voltage. You see, this is the voltage sign, right? You see, this is AC voltage. This C symbol is for AC. This is AC voltage. Here you can see that the range is from 200 volt to 750 volt. That means we can measure this with this multimeter up to 750 volt. But if it crosses 750 volt, this multimeter will destroy, right? Now you see how to measure the voltage, AC voltage. First of all, I will show you how to measure the AC voltage. Let's see how to measure. Before that, I will show you how to connect the probe. You see, in multimeter there are two probes. One is in black color, this is negative probe, and you see this is in red color, this is positive probe. You can see here that here the negative probe, you see the negative probe will be connected with the common. You see here, this is the common or earthing. This is the earthing or common, you can say. And here you see the red probe or positive probe will be connected either here or here. When you put this probe here, what it will measure? You see here, if you put this probe here, in this probe, in this hole, then it will measure V for voltage, this is ohm, this is milliampere, right? That is current. That means it can measure the voltage, it can measure the resistance, it can measure the current, right? Now I show you how to measure. First of all, I show you how to measure the AC current. AC means alternating current. I show you how to measure the AC current. But this is very dangerous. You don't try at home because it may either destroy this multimeter or there may be a shock. So for suggestions for safety, don't use this method if you are not expert in this subject. I'll show you how to measure the AC voltage first. You see, this is the AC, right? Now whatever this arrow is in off position, right? I will take it here, right? And this is up to 750 volt. This is 200 volt, right? I put it here on 750 volt and I will measure the voltage of AC current. Let us see how to measure AC current. Now you can see here that will measure the AC current, and this is AC current, right? Now you see how to measure with this help of this multimeter. You see, this is positive probe and this is negative probe, right? I will show you how to measure it, right? First, put this positive and negative probe in the hole of AC plug, right? Here you see, this is the AC plug, and you see we are putting it, and we will show you how to measure this voltage, that is AC voltage. Let us see what is the voltage at present. 'Here you can see at present DC voltage is 254 volt. At present it is nearly 250 volt, right? That is, the voltage at present is 250 volt. You can see here, again I am showing you. Here you see, here 253 volt. That means the AC voltage is 253 volt. AC means alternating current. Now I show you the DC voltage. How to measure DC voltage? Before that, you should know that to measure voltage, you have to put the multimeter in parallel connection. You have to remember that whenever you measure any voltage, you have to put the multimeter or whatever the multimeter or voltmeter in parallel connection. Now I will show you how to measure direct DC voltage. You see, this one is the DC voltage. What is the range? You can see here, this is 200 millivolt, this is 2000 millivolt, this is 20 volt, this is 200 volt, this is 1000 volt. That means this multimeter can measure up to 1000 volt, right? That is for DC current, right? Let us see how to measure the DC voltage. For DC voltage, we will take some batteries or cell and we will measure the voltage, but it should be in parallel connection. What is the meaning of parallel connection? You see here that I will put this in this battery. You can see here that there are two signs. One is positive, this is positive, and this is negative, right? This is positive. Now how to measure the voltage of DC voltage in a cell? With the help of multimeter, what you have to do, this positive probe, the positive probe will be connected with the positive terminal of the cell. This is positive terminal of the cell, and the negative terminal will be connected to the negative terminal of the cell. You see here this one, right? And you see the voltage is nearly 0. That means this is the charge is nearly 0. That this cell will not work, right? You see the measurement, that is 0 only. It shows 0. You can see here. You see the reading. It shows 0 reading. That means this cell will not work because the voltage is 0 for this cell, right? Next we will measure another cell. Now see, I am measuring the voltage of this cell. Again we will measure in the same way. This is, we will touch the positive terminal of the cell with the positive probe and negative terminal of the cell with the negative probe. You see, and you see the voltage is 0.00. That means this cell will also not work, right? Because the voltage is 0, right? And we are connecting this cell in a parallel connection. Now we'll check this one. You see here, we'll check the voltage of this cell. Connect this positive probe with the positive terminal of the cell and negative probe with the negative terminal of the cell. You see, this is 0.09 volt. You see here, let us see once again. It is 0.09 volt, right? That means the voltage of this cell is 0.09. It will also not work. Let us see the voltage of this cell. You see here, if we measure the voltage of this cell, this is positive and this is negative. It is also 0. You see, this is also 0. Now I will see whether what is the voltage of this cell. Let us see. If we check this one, we see that the voltage of this cell is 0.01, right? This cell is also not work. Let us see this one. First of all, you see why it is showing because we have connected this to AC, but you have to change this into DC voltage first. You see here the range. This is 200 millivolt, 2000 millivolt, 20 volt, 200 volt and 1000 volt. Now you see how to measure the voltage of this cell, right? The first one we are trying for AC, right? That is shows nothing, shows that this shows no reading. So for measuring DC voltage, you have to put this arrow in the DC range, DC voltage. Now I am putting this arrow in the 20 volt range. Now I show you how to measure the DC voltage now, right? You see here, remember that you have to put the positive probe with the positive terminal of the cell and negative probe with the negative terminal of the cell. Let's see what is the value. Yes, it is 4.64. You can see here it is nearly 4.6 4.56 volt, right? If you change the probe, what will happen? If you change the probe, it will show a negative potential. You see here, if you change the probe, you can see this is minus 4.54 volt. It is minus 4.5 volt, right? If we change the probe, it will show a negative potential, right? Again, let us see what are the voltage of these cells. You see, if we put the positive terminal of this cell, right, and the negative terminal or the negative probe, then you see this is 0.37 volt, right? If we change this one, the probe, it will say negative potential, and you see it is minus 0.26 volt. It is minus because we are changing the probe, right? Let us see what is the voltage of this cell. If we change, put it on the positive terminal with the positive probe and negative terminal with the negative probe, you see the voltage is 0.23 volt, 0.22 volt. And if we change the terminal, you see it is minus 0.20, right? It is minus because we are changing the terminal. You see this cell is what we call it as positive and negative. Let us see what is the voltage of this cell. You see here, the voltage of this cell is 0.07 volt. That means it will not work, right? If we change the terminal, you see it will be negative and it is 0.07 volt, right? This is 0.07 volt, right? Let us see what is the voltage of this cell, right? You see here, I am again touching this one, positive probe with the positive terminal and negative probe with the negative terminal. It will show 0.01 volt. That means this cell will also not work, right? If we change the positive terminal, and you see it is a negative potential, it is minus 0.01 volt, right? Now you see another cell, this cell I am taking, and you see what is the voltage of this cell, right? Let us see. Here it is also 0.01, and if we change the terminal, it is minus 0.01 volt, right? It will also not work. Let us see this one. Let us see what is the voltage of this cell. If we measure this cell, it is 0.37 volt. If we change the terminal, you see this is the negative potential, it is minus 0.36 volt, minus 0.36 volt, right? This is minus. Now that means this cell is only in correct position to work because it shows 4, 5. Let us see which one is in a better way to work. Yes, this one. This is 4.56 volt, right? If we change this one, you will see here that this is nearly negative potential, minus 4.50 volt. Now if we try another cell, here you see there is another cell. We have this cell. Let us measure the voltage of this cell, right, and find what is the voltage here, right? If we change this one, now first of all see what is, this is positive and the black one is this one is negative, right? Let us check the voltage of this cell now. Now here you can see the voltage of this cell is 0.33 volt. If we change the terminal, you will see that we will get a negative potential, right? Minus 0.33 volt, right? This is how to measure the voltage of DC current. Now you see there are other cells also. You see this type of cell is there, and this is the positive terminal, this is the negative terminal. We will check the voltage. You see here the voltage of this cell is 1.04 volt. If we change this one, you see there will be negative potential and there is minus 0.14 volt, right? That is negative potential. Now you see if we check this, the cell of this voltage, then it is 0.1 you see 1.06 volt. If we change the terminal, it will show a negative potential, and that is minus 0.16 volt, right? This is the cell. Now we have some other button cells. You see here, these are some button cells you can see. Now we check the, you see, this is positive one, this is the positive, right? You can see here, this is positive sign. You can see here, and this is positive. Yes, this is positive, and the upper one is negative. Now if we want to check the voltage of this cell, let us check it. Touch the positive terminal of the cell with the positive probe and negative terminal of the cell with the negative. You see, this is 1.47 volt. This is 1.47 volt. If we change the terminal, you see, this is a negative potential, and it is minus 1.47 volt, right? It is minus, right? Let us see the other cells also. Suppose this one, let us see this one. What is the voltage of this cell? The voltage of this cell is 0.70, right? And we change the terminal, you see, there is a negative potential, and it is minus 0.70 volt, right? Now if we change this one, let us see what is the voltage of this cell. The voltage of this cell is 0.71 volt, negative. This is negative potential. If we change the terminal, you see, positive with positive and negative with negative, so positive, that is 0.71 volt, right? And if we change the terminal, it will show negative potential, it is minus 0.71 volt. That means in this way we have to measure the DC voltage here, the AC voltage here, right? If we want to measure the current, then what we have to do? You see here, this is the range of current, right? This is 200 milliampere, 20 milliampere, 2000 microampere, and this is 10 ampere. For 10 ampere, you have to change this probe in the 10 ampere hole, right? For 10 ampere, can you here see, it is written here, it is 10 ampere, and you have to change, you have to put this probe in the 10 ampere range. Here you see, this is for measuring 10 ampere range, right? And if you want to measure 200 up to 200 milliampere, then you have to put this probe in the second hole or this hole, right? Now the how to measure the current, that is also important. How to measure the DC current? You see, this is measuring for DC current only, right? How to measure the DC current? First of all, you see the range. The range is from 200 milliampere to 2000 to from 2000 microampere, 20 milliampere, and 200 milliampere, and up to 10 ampere you can measure with this multimeter, right? Now you see the resistance. You see here, there are resistances also. You see, this is the resistance. Here see, this is 200 ohm, this is 2000 ohm, this is 20k ohm, this is 200k, and this is 2000k. K means 1000, right? That is, you have to measure, you can measure the resistance also from 200 ohm to 2000k ohm, right? You can in the next video I'll show you how to measure the resistance also, right? And here you can see this one, see, this one is for checking the diode, right? Or you can see that this is for, there will be beep sound if we touch this one. With this one, there is a beep sound you can hear. That is whether our multimeter is in correct position or not. You can see a beep sound here. Here we are putting this arrow here, and we are getting a beep sound, right? What is the use of this factor? Let us see. It is for continuity. What is the meaning of continuity? The meaning of continuity is that we can check anywhere whether it is in correct position or not, or any circuit whether it is in correct position or not to work, right? Let us show you an example to show how to check the continuity. Here is I am showing you with a wire to show that whether this wire is in correct position or not. Here you see there are two wires, this one and this one. Whether this wire is in perfect or not, we can check with this continuity testing, right? What do you do? Check, put this one and put the other end of the wire, and if it sounds beep sound, then it is in okay condition to work. It is not in okay condition, that's why it is not giving any beep sound. Let us see this one. This wire is also not in perfect condition to work with. Let us see another wire. Now let us take another wire. Suppose I am taking this wire. You see here I am taking this wire, and let's see whether it is in perfect for working or not. You see here I am putting this here and connecting the other end of the wire with the negative terminal. You can hear a beep sound. That means this wire is in perfect condition to work with. This is what we call it as continuity test, right? Now I'll show you how to measure the resistance. You see these are the various resistances, and you can see I'll show you how to measure the resistance. You see here this is 200 ohm, this is 200, 2000, this is 20k, this is 200k, and this is 2000k. That means up to 200k this multimeter can measure the resistance. I'll show you how to measure the resistance, right? You see I have various types of resistances, and I'll show you how to measure the resistance now. Now we can see how to measure the resistance. You see there is various types of resistances I have. This is one type, this is another type, and there are three other resistances also. You see this one. How to measure the resistance with the help of this multimeter? I am going to show you. For that, what if you do, you can change this arrow in the 200 ohm resistance, 2000, 20k, 200k, and 2000k. You put this arrow in the 200 ohm, right? Now we'll measure the resistance of these resistances. You see this is one of the resistance. Now if I want to measure the resistance of this one, let us check what is the resistance. You see this is 20. Let us check, this is nearly 20 ohm, right? 20.0. That means this is the resistance is 20 ohm. You see it is written here also that it is 20 ohm. You can see here that it is 20 ohm. You can see this is 20 ohm, right? That means the resistance of this one is 20 ohm. If we check the resistance of this one, let us check what is the resistance of this one, right? Let us check. Here it is nearly 28 ohm. You see this is nearly 28 ohm, right? If we change the position, let us see, it is nearly 28.5 ohm, right? That means the resistance of this one is 28.5 ohm, right? If we check the resistance of this one, let us check what is the value of these resistances. You see, these are various types of resistances I have, and I'll show you how to check the resistance of this one. Let us check the resistance. Can you see the resistance of this one is, this resistor is 2 ohm, right? 2.0, that is the resistance is 2 ohm, right? This is the 2 ohm. And let us check the resistance of this one. Let us check the resistance of this one, and the resistance is, here you can see that it is 1.9 ohm. It is 1.9 ohm. And if we check the resistance of this one, let us check what is the resistance of this one. The resistance of this one is 3.3 ohm. The resistance of this one is 3.3 ohm. In this way, you can measure the voltage of DC voltage, you can measure DC current, you can measure the resistances, you can measure the continuity test, you can measure the HFE value, and also the square wave, and also the beta value of NPN and PNP transistors. In the next video, I will show you how to measure the current. You have to remember that for measuring current, you have to put the multimeter in series connection. But for measuring the voltages, we have put the multimeter in parallel connection, right? And for measuring resistance, I have shown you how to measure the resistances. The next video I will show you, I have also shown you the continuity test. Let us show the continuity test again. Suppose I am taking this wire, whether this wire is in perfect position or not to work with. Let us see. If it gives a beep sound, that it is in okay position. For that, you have to take this here in this position. Is here in this arrow, you have to take in this position, this one, and you can check whether this wire is in perfect position or not to work with. If it gives beep sound, it is the perfect position. Let us see. Yes, it is in perfect condition because it gives beep sound. See, it is not working. Let us see another. I am taking another wire, and let us see whether it is in perfect condition or not. Yes, this wire is in perfect condition work because it gives beep sound. This wire is okay to work with. Let us check this wire, that is we are checking the continuity test of a wire. It is not giving beep sound, that means this wire is not in perfect condition to work with, right? In this way, you can check the various instruments or various circuit or various wires to check whether it is in continuity test, continuous or not. In this way, you have to measure. Now, what you have to measure, remember that in this multimeter, what we can measure? We can measure the AC voltage. I have shown you how to measure the AC voltage. We have measured the DC voltage of various cells. We have shown you, and you can measure the current also. In the next video, I will show you how to measure the current. If you remember that for measuring current, you have to put the multimeter in series connection, right? And you can also check the quantity test with this one, and also the direction of diode. If you see there is a symbol of diode, you can check the direction of diode also, right? And here this is square wave, this is HFE value, and this is you can find the beta value of NPN and PNP transistors. This is the different methods in which you can measure with the help of this multimeter, right? In the next video, I am going to show you the other functions of this multimeter, that is how to measure DC current, how to measure the square wave, how to find the HFE value, and how to find the beta value of NPN and PNP transistor. In the next video, I am going to show all these things. Thank you everybody for watching this video.